Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. It is Friday, Fish's favorite day of the week. Jeff stole my coffee. Fish is a fucking asshole. And Alex Westfall actually showed up on time today, so I'm not sure what's going on today.
Let's go.
Oh, my God. You know, Fridays are some of the best shows. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a better Friday than maybe this Friday, unless Michigan are playing in the title game.
Oh, yeah.
This is an epic weekend for the state of Michigan. Think about it. Central Michigan just beat
Oh, don't worry. Yeah.
Michigan last night.
I'm going to bring that up to Broome later. I know he's feeling it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that was
There's that. Michigan play tomorrow against TCU. 4 o'clock. Fiesta Bowl. Legacy's on the line. I mean, I am so very excited for this game. And then, of course, the Lions look to keep their playoff hopes alive on Sunday. Jeff, this is why we play at the end of the day. This is why you play the game. This is why, you know, all of you in the WoodwardSports.com chat, you guys follow along all year. This is why you follow your teams for moments like this. And you can start with Michigan. You know, 2 years ago, you probably didn't think this was possible. And here you are. If you're a Lions fan, year 2 of a rebuild, you're trying to see progress, and you get to play a meaningful game in January. I call that a successful season, if you ask me. Regardless of how bad it was at the start, regardless of how good it was during the 6-7 game stretch, progress. Cool. That's what you're looking for. And you get to see both on display this weekend. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is what Lions fans asked for last year. You want to play meaningful football. And Tim Twentyman sat down with Lee McNeil and he brought that up to him. And the difference, and you could see in Lee McNeil's face, the difference between last year in December and this year in December. It's night and day. And for all these young players, just to get a taste of competing for the playoffs, they're just outside the picture. Even if they don't make it, that's the goal, right? You want to beat the Bears and the Packers. But even if they don't, I mean, it's still a successful season because like we said earlier in the week, I asked for 8 wins. They're on pace, if they win both, to be 9-8. So technically they finish above my expectations. Doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. Now 1-6 isn't ideal, but the fact that this team responded, now they have a chance to go 9-8, above 500, or at worst go 8-9, or 7-10. I mean, it's a successful season no matter what. But playoffs will be great, especially for the young players.
100%. And then we go to Michigan. Mike Morris will be back.
Yep.
Blake Corum, I don't believe.
No.
I think that's...
And I think Donovan Edwards, his cast is smaller.
Oh,
still has a...
Donovan Edwards, you know what? I'm glad you brought him up. 8:45, Jim Harbaugh had high praise for Donovan Edwards.
He's a beast.
Essentially saying he not only saved Michigan's season, he saved their aspirations. He saved... I mean, I don't know how to quantify the magnitude of how important Donovan Edwards stepping in, carrying a load he hadn't carried before, taking that baton and running with it. We'll get to that 8:45. Anthony Broome joining us at 9 o'clock. Anthony's my favorite guest we always get.
Yeah, he's great.
He's the best. We'll talk to him. Michigan, TCU, a great show coming up 9:15 around the NFC North. Justin Jefferson might break Calvin's record. It's very doable.
Calvin did it in 16.
I know.
I'm going to hold that to my grave. You know
Yeah,
it.
but
it's still impressive.
But the receiving records back when the league was 14, like, you know,
things change, evolve.
It evolves, man. The schedule changes. The game gets faster. The game gets, I would say, more offensive, obviously. So records are going to be broken. They're meant to be broken. You know, I don't think it's a bad thing. Killian Hayes suspended for 3 games. Got to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, later on, my best bets. We'll give our predictions for Michigan, TCU, Lions, Bears.
And New Year's resolutions. New Year's is up.
We'll do that now.
That is true.
We can do that now. How about that? Because I am not doing that at the end of the show.
Okay.
You want to get it out the way.
I'm getting that out of the way.
Yeah.
So, Fish,
Yes, sir.
what is your New Year's resolution?
Well, I don't think it's going to last very
You
long.
fucking ass.
But no swearing. I'm going to try that out.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
I know. If I did some test
Especially
runs,
around. Come
hasn't
on.
worked very well. So over-under is probably 1 minute. But hopefully I could push that
All right,
up.
give me something else other than swearing. Come on, buddy. Because I'm not going to give you any of mine. Because I don't have any.
Yeah.
Well, then how am I mean, that's really the only one I have now.
Okay.
I asked for feedback on Twitter yesterday. I just
Yeah,
wanted
what
to see.
what the people say? Nothing?
I mean,
anything?
they said I'm doing a great job. That's about it. I didn't really get any
That's nice of them.
negative feedback. I wanted
That's nice.
people to say I'm annoying or I do this wrong.
You know,
I didn't get
yesterday
any
was
of
my
that.
anniversary.
Oh,
Was it really? Congratulations.
No,
Yeah.
not my marriage anniversary.
Oh, no. Where's this going? What anniversary?
Well, you know, yesterday was a very important day in NFL
oh
history.
boy.
Joshua Dobbs
Oh,
started
He did.
over Malik Willis.
Yep.
Threw for more yards than Malik Willis has
Also,
thrown over the
clap
last
it up
3
by
games.
And a lot of drop balls there, too. If you watch the game, he probably could have had like 100 more yards.
And on top of that, yesterday is officially December 29th, 2022 is officially Suck My Dick Day.
Oh, boy.
By me. From me to all of you Malik Willis fans. So,
Wow.
Yesterday was year one. It was the first anniversary.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year, we're alive, we're healthy, and we can all do Suck My Dick Malik Willis people on December 29th.
You really have nothing you want to change in 2023? There's not one thing you think of and say, I might want to change that. Nothing?
I don't think that way, because I have a bad. How do I explain this? I just do it.
Okay.
I don't talk about it,
Okay.
and
That's good.
I don't like people that also talk about what they want to do. It
Right.
pisses me off. I know. I'm telling you, I'm weird.
No, I don't think that's weird. I think part of it, too, when you say things like, I want to do this, this, and this.
like even with my own family. Like family members will come up to me and they'll bring up something and they're like, oh, yeah, I want to do this. I'm like, okay, fucking do it. Like, why are you telling me?
Like, you want to go on a trip? You
Like,
want to
I
go
never
see a
told
certain
anybody
stadium?
anything I want to do in my life. I just went and did it. So again, it's just how I am. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Okay.
But that's just how I am. So no, I don't really do that stuff.
Jeff, you got anything you want to do in 2023?
I'm going to be honest, and I know this is probably not the answer you're looking for. I'm kind of similar to Adam in that sense. Like, I don't go out and say, oh, I want to start working out. I'll just go work out. So, I don't
It's
know.
like me saying, I want to be a prostitute. So I'm not
well-
going to tell you guys. Just go do it.
Yeah, you might want to. You never know. For me,
It's good money.
Simple stuff for me. Just, I want to make this show as best as we can, continue to grow it, and grow the network. I think it's the big picture for me. But individual stuff like,
This guy
working
has a special
out.
place in my heart.
Who?
Will Herbin.
Oh, boy.
He says, Adam, which bowl game is MSU in? Well, Will, you know the answer to that. And I deserve it.
They're in the go home and
They're
take a
in
nap
the
bowl.
fuck yourself. We never made it to a bowl game.
Or that.
Game.
Or that.
Oh, man.
It's an impressive bowl
Honestly,
game.
you know what? If I ever did a Nike ad, that would be it. Prostitution. Just do it.
Just do it.
Great call, Broder. Great call, buddy. Richardson is definitely a better quarterback than Willis. Man, you guys are getting started early with the draft talk this year.
I know.
I get it, though. 2 first-round picks. I mean, who wouldn't?
Right.
Who wouldn't be
2
excited?
games
But-
left in the season.
Yeah. I get it. Who's to blame for MSU's season? Adam or Adam? Honestly, I take full responsibility.
Adam,
Yeah.
Even though Mel Tucker and his stupid defensive
You're
coordinator couldn't figure
wearing
it out.
their shirt.
I like this shirt. I don't care if it has the stupid logo on it.
Okay.
I like this shirt. It's really comfortable.
Well, that's fine.
It's one of my favorite
But I'm
shirts
just
in my
saying,
closet.
you were rooting for Michigan State. They didn't do so well this year.
And it didn't work out.
No, not.
They
But
sucked.
as a fan, you should still support them. You shouldn't just give up on
There's
them after
nothing to
1
support.
year.
The season's over. They didn't get to a bowl game.
That's
if they were
next
going to a bowl
year.
game, look, if they were going to the Cheez-It Bowl, or they were going to the
Duke's
put it in
Mayo
my
Bowl.
butt bowl, or whatever all those
Wow.
other weird
I
things
don't
are,
want to go to that bowl.
right?
Stay away from
I
that
would be
bowl.
here
Yeah,
saying,
stay
"All right,
out.
Michigan State, we got one more game. Here we go. Let's go, boys!" But no, they're not. They weren't good enough to make it a. They weren't good enough to make a bowl game. They weren't good enough to kick a 20-fucking-yard field goal.
I know.
So here we go.
But it's like you giving up on the Lions if they go 0-16.
That's
It's
not
like,
true.
oh, I'm done
See,
with the
no.
Lions.
See, no, that is not true at all. Because My fandom for Michigan State was predetermined, and it was for 1 year and 1 year only. And I will never do this again, by the way.
That's stupid.
I did not enjoy my experience at all. Anyways.
Jacob says, WoodwardSports.com, can we get a 5-minute with Fish segment once a week recapping lesser sports news?
You know, Jacob, I would love to do that, but Fish is a cunt. Difficult to work with.
No,
doesn't show up on time.
Fish is actually here, by the way, for people who don't know this, he is here super early.
Because he's awake at 2 o'clock watching fucking darts.
Like, I get here decently early, but like I've beaten Fish probably I can count on my hands how many times I've beaten Fish. It doesn't happen very often.
Well, Fish, we appreciate you.
He's first in the building.
Yeah, sure.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Thank you. Happy New Year. New Year's gets started in some countries tomorrow at like 6 a.m., so that's exciting.
Only you would know that.
So, you don't enjoy watching New Year's around the world?
I do not. I don't even watch the ball drop.
You don't? Okay.
You're
what?
weird. Well, okay, that doesn't surprise me
because
he's a weird.
You don't watch the ball drop?
That doesn't surprise. At least he knows what it is. But that does not.
What do you do? What do I do?
It's a Saturday night.
You go to sleep like a normal day.
I haven't gone to a party for a ball drop in like 6 years.
Well, that's fine. A party.
What does your wife do?
Nothing. We celebrate the new year.
Oh, like together.
Okay. Do you stay up till midnight though?
I get that.
Huh?
Do you stay up till midnight?
Well, it depends. I mean, like prior to COVID, we used to go out for parties.
Okay.
Right? We would do the countdown and everything and all that weird stuff. And that's it.
Dang.
But I don't go out of my way to watch the ball drop like, holy shit.
Well, do you have it in the background or anything?
I'm sure it's in the background.
Okay.
I'm not sitting there like, oh my God, there's a ball dropping in New York, boys. Oh my God, it's happening.
You don't have
I don't think anyone's doing that.
You don't have to say that.
God.
You don't enjoy some of the concerts they have? They have some people you like on there.
No, I don't want to look at fucking Anderson Cooper and that fucking stupid comedian.
No, the concerts, you dummy. They'll have like some people you know,
Yeah,
the
they're all
Migos
shit.
and.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
Anyways, Fish, you're just pissing me off this morning.
I try to help you. I asked you if there's anything you could change in 2023, and you didn't give me anything.
If I could change one thing in 2023,
Oh no.
Oh gosh, I'm not ready for
I'd
this.
fire Alex.
Oh, here we go. Alex.
Sorry, buddy.
He's like, damn. He's like, damn.
Hey, do you have anything you want to change in 2023?
No.
His drive to work.
What time he wakes up.
Oh, God. Fish, it still bothers me that you wear that Notre Dame hat.
Well,
such a disgrace.
I wanted to wear
it's such a disgrace.
I wanted to wear the sweatshirt. I don't know where it is.
It's such an insult.
Why?
It's such an insult to everybody in this room.
Okay.
I'm
Meaning
offended.
Okay.
I'm actually offended.
They're playing today. I went to their. Have you been to their stadium?
Fish, I identify as offended. Can I do that?
I mean, yeah.
Right?
Technically, you
Isn't that
could.
how it works or no?
I mean,
I identify as offended. All right?
Well, there you go.
Let's take a break before I get canceled. When we get back, how the Detroit Lions have already had a successful season, what it means on Sunday if they can beat the Chicago Bears and guarantee an 8-win season. All that and so much more also gives them a chance to make the playoffs in Lambeau the following week. But before we go, I got to tell you about Cousins Maine Lobster. What are you waiting for? Scan the QR code on the screen. You see it right now. Visit cousinsmainelobster.com. Check out where their food truck will be and treat yourself to some great lunch. We treated the boys yesterday for lunch at Cousins Maine Lobster. It was really good. Got some clam chowder soup.
Oh.
I got lobster tacos. I mean, I've gotten the same thing 3 times now, to be honest with you. I don't want to change. It's good. Why would I change it? Fuck you guys. Anyways, scan the QR code. Check them out. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit customhealthcenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Meat supplier of the Woodward Sports Network. No, it's not Fish laying over that 12-inch dong. No. It is Chef Dave.
Hi, Rich.
And his awesome team at the butchery. Go to butchery.com and order online today. Wagyu meats, artisan bread, sandwiches to die for. Or call them at 248-682-COWS. That's 248-682-COWS. Fish, you tell girls to moan for you, or move for you, excuse me, whenever you're with them? Is that a thing?
No.
No?
I don't.
You should try it.
Okay.
If
I ever see a girl, I'll try it.
Yeah, just tell her like the butchery sent you. Just tell her, I need you to move for me. And if you're into dudes, you just tell the dude to move for you. Or if you're on the receiving end, you move. Okay?
No, you don't.
Okay.
We don't want you to move, Fish. We don't want to get to No. Damn it.
Oh my God, I'm going to hell. And I fully accepted it a long time ago. There's nothing that will ever change me.
So, hey, you're not doing anything for New Year's then?
Well, I'm working. Michigan pregame show.
You're working at 11 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay.
We're doing the Michigan pregame show. That game ends at 7. Driving up to the studio, doing the postgame show till about 9:30.
Okay.
And then I'm going to head back home. I'll go link up with family, and we'll do the standard New Year's, whatever. Hey,
Okay, so you get something.
Yeah,
going.
you're doing something.
I'm just saying, I don't watch the ball drop. I think it's stupid.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I meant by it.
And then Sunday we have our pregame show.
Yep.
And then
With the
Sunday
crew.
the Lions pregame show.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got
Packed
the
weekend.
You got the
Okay.
winter. You got the Winter
Fair.
Classic on January 2nd,
Yep, and the Winter Classic.
and Rose Bowl, and all the other bowls. They're not popular anymore.
Fish, how do you
Sadly.
feel about this? Broder in the chat says if the Lions cover on Sunday, everybody gets 10% off your meat. Do you charge?
What does that mean?
It means Fish charges for his services.
Oh, okay. All right.
10% off. It's a good deal,
That
Fish.
that is
That's
a pretty good
kind
deal.
of you.
That is a very kind deal. I might bump it up to what's the spread? That's probably a short
Lions
spread,
minus
though.
5.5.
Yeah.
They can cover it, Fish.
Might do about how much they win by. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll have to see how it works.
I like where this is going. Look at Fish offering out his meat
Yeah.
for the whole world.
How generous of him.
Fish, you're evolving in front of us. I love
He
it.
could end world hunger. Fish alone.
Oh, God.
Try to.
All right. Lions fans, this is probably one of my favorite things I get to say all year. Congratulations.
Super Bowl?
No. Regardless of how your season ends, and I have a different opinion on how I think it will end than I think most people, but good job. It was a good year. Frustrating. Very Jekyll and Hyde. A lot of negatives. A lot of positives. Frustrating, of course. I don't like inconsistency, but you know what? Reality is they were 1-6, and they did go 6-1. And there's something in between both of those truths that is more of the truth. Does that make sense, Jeff?
Yeah. Yep.
So at the end of the day, they can lose out, they can win out. I've seen the progress you wanted to see before the season going into year 2. Did it happen the way it should happen, or it typically happens around the NFL? No, the hell it didn't. 1-6, not ideal. 6-1, holy hell. Losing to Carolina on the road with the playoffs in your hand, not ideal. So it's still a young team.
Right.
I will give them that. I will give them that they're still going to add a lot of players in the offseason, and they will be better next year. But mission accomplished-ish. I don't want to say it's a success, because that's not what I define success as. But when we went into the year, let's all be fair here, we said 7, 8, at most 9 wins. That's what they're at. And how it happened, very frustrating and very euphoric, right? You had two total opposite ends of the spectrum here. You had 1-6, wanted to kill myself. 6-1, wanted to do blow off this mic, right? Now, there's somewhere in between those two that is probably more so of this team. But I don't know how you can't call their 6th season or excuse me, their season a success if you're not honest about what your expectations were before the year.
Right.
And again, they didn't win anything. They didn't make the playoffs yet. They didn't win the division. They didn't win a playoff game. They haven't done anything, right? But they took a necessary step forward in what we all understand is a rebuild. And as frustrated as I was when they were 1-6, they did a hell of a job recovering and going 6 of 7. And it's 7 or 8 week stretch, I believe. And that helps. That changes a lot.
Yeah.
Now, do I like the inconsistency? No, I don't. Do I think it's ideal to start a season 1-6 and then finish strong? No, I don't. That is not a recipe for success. Having said that, next year you will be afforded an opportunity, a clean slate, to start the season well, very well, average, and hopefully work towards a division title, a wild card appearance. Then we're talking.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at this year with them.
And I'm looking at the big picture. I think we're in lockstep here. The big picture to me is before the season, like you said, we asked for 7, 8, 9 wins at the most. Some people on the network said 10, like Ryan Romani. And at the time, we thought he was crazy. But after the 1-6 start, them winning 6 of 7, them being as hot as they were, one of the most hottest teams in football, and on top of that, a team that still, I believe, nobody wants to play. But the down part of that, what you've seen most of this season, is the inconsistencies. And of course, you have a young team, mostly young defense, and performances like Saturday, although they're not acceptable, it doesn't completely surprise me. It just doesn't. And maybe this team wasn't ready this year to make that run. But we did mention before the season how bad the NFC would be. Maybe they have a chance to sneak in. And right now, they still do.
But how true is that, though? That ended up being spot on.
Yeah, it was very true. You said that. And you're spot on.
It ended up being worse than even we thought.
Yeah, you told me. You said with 8 wins, they could possibly get in. And if they get 9, they'll possibly get in. So either way, I mean, you were right on the money with that.
The teams that are borderline wildcard teams will all finish likely at least with a minimum of 8 wins.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we called this. So, for me, the progress is there. For me, it was more about the players, the young players. And all the players I was looking to take that next step have. Although they've been inconsistent, a Kirby Joseph, for the most part, you're happy with how he's played. Not even playing an entire season, starting when he wasn't supposed to initially because of Tracy Walker being out. So a lot of positive things come from this season. Trading T.J. Hawkinson, getting the draft capital for him, and seeing your tight ends like a Brock Wright, a Zylstra, a James Mitchell, those guys make plays. And the big one for me is Jared Goff. You got to see Jared Goff this season not only play some of his best football, but look the most confident he's ever looked and the most comfortable. And we know the stat going around, he hasn't thrown an interception the last, 7 games. He fumbled last game, but still hasn't been turning the ball over. That should give you more confidence heading into the next season, because if this defense was even remotely slightly better than what it's been all year,
they'd be a 9-10 win team.
They'd be a 9-10 win team. So, again, there's your game plan. There's your blueprint. Go out and address those needs on your football team. And this team will be contending for the division next year. I do believe that. So, to me, regardless of how the next 2 games finish out, I can comfortably say this was a successful season for the Lions. I'm very happy. Although you're 1-6, the fact that they won 6 of 7 and then 6 of 8 now, it's still impressive to me. It showed what this team could be when they're clicking on all cylinders. You just need a little more talent, and these players got to develop, which they're going to, in my eyes.
It's like looking at data reports, right? You never want to just look at the extremes. The 1-6 and 6-1, I don't think are fair reflections of the team. I think all of you would agree with that.
Yeah.
The Lions are not a 6-1 football team. They can be, but they're not. And I don't think they're as bad as a 1-6 football team. So there's somewhere in between. And somewhere in between is a 7, 8, 9, I wouldn't say 9. So somewhere between a 6, 7, or 8 win team. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're going to be. They're going to end up being at worst 7-10, maybe 8 and 9, at best 9 and 8. And it is what it is. But the biggest thing, Jeff, I think you hit on it already. You have to quantify it as a successful season, because Jared Goff played at a Pro Bowl level. Mm-hmm. Ben Johnson was who you thought he was. Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't have a sophomore slump. Jameson Williams, you hope, has a strong finish to the year. You're optimistic for him in the future. The offensive line was what you thought it would be. Now, the running backs, disappointing, but you'll have a solution for that in the offseason.
Absolutely.
And then you go to the defensive side of the ball, some of the bright spots, Malcolm Rodriguez, Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph at times, Jerry Jacobs at times, Jeff Okudah early on in the year, but
I think him being healthy is the big one for me.
Yeah.
Just
he's lucky to be the number 2 corner on this team next year. I mean, he's got a lot of work to do. He just does. He's not out of the water. He does not look like a number 1. He had moments, he had flashes, but he hasn't strung it along consistently. So there's a lot of work to do there. But it starts with the coach, and it ends with the coach. At 1-6, he couldn't get out of his own way. And through that 6-1 stretch, he was making, for the most part, almost every decision. I would say he was making every right decision. Outside of Buffalo, I don't think he made an egregious mistake. Now, the win against Minnesota, I believe it was Minnesota, the same concept where he didn't take the points, or he tried to kick the field goal.
Kick the field goal.
He made that same mistake. That was the whole thing, but he wasn't punished for it. So
yeah, they made it. So it didn't come back to bite him.
I've seen a lot of growth. Growth is nice. We all like to grow in our careers, our fields, but eventually you have to make something stick. And that's what next year is for. Next year, you go out, you better win 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
Because the talent there is there offensively. I 100% believe defensively they'll be much better next year. And if they're not, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Because you have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. You've got $28 million in available salary cap. Figure it out. And I believe Brad Holmes will. And Dan Campbell next year, meaningful games. When you are 2-1, and you need to make a decision that will either take you to 3-1 or 2-2, what are you going to do? Are you going to shoot yourself in the foot? Or are you going to come out next year and start 2-1, 4-2, 4-3? And be a team that is going to make their way, hopefully, to not only a wild card spot, but contending for your own division. That's the conversation we're going to be having all offseason. So, to me, not the most ideal start. I was really losing my shit when they were 1-6. They offered me no data, no hope, but they somehow turned it around. And for that, they get a round of applause, whatever the hell you want to give them.
Yeah.
They've earned their 3rd year to say, this is our year. We finally have enough time. We've had 3 drafts. We've had 3 off seasons. It's go time.
Right. The
7 wins next year is unacceptable.
I was going to say, the expectations rise, and although players and coaches, they want those expectations, it's really about how they start next year. That's going to be the big one for me.
Yep. All right, fair enough. Well, look, let's take a break. When we get back, what the Lions must do to beat the Chicago Bears. And then at 8:45, Jim Harbaugh, Donovan Edwards. We'll get to that. 9 o'clock, Anthony Broome. So I can't wait. Great show coming up. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Bedrock Detroit. They are bringing you the Monroe Street Midway. It's now open. What are you waiting for? Don't miss out. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long. Food, drinks, before or after you play the games, winter bumper cars, puck putt, you name it, they got it. Check them out and let them know your good friends over at Woodward Sports sent you.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We here at Woodward Sports would like to thank everybody who helped us stuff our studio. The 3rd annual Stuff a Studio was a major success thanks in part to our partners at Guardian Alarm and Myers Stores for making it all possible. And of course, we couldn't do it without our community leaders and viewers like you. Thank you for dropping off toys to our studio that were taken to the Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor so every sick child could have a happy holiday.
We are incredibly grateful for Woodward Sports, Guardian Alarm, and Meyer for making the holidays so special for our patients and families. families.
So what we do is try to bring some normalcy to their lives at this time. This is a labor of love. It brings so much joy, and not just for the families and for the children, but for our staff.
Thank you.
Jeff Iafrate here, and I'm here to tell you about our friends at Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck, because it's the home of the original football bowling game. If you think you're better than Jared Goff, I'm talking to the heavyweights, go to the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck, and you could try out their $12 unlimited open play or $120 lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 mystery beer machine, full bar, check it all out, FullingWarehouse.com.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com, as always. Jeff, Justin Fields for the Bears is the X factor. He is the only problem. He's the only weapon. Now, David Montgomery, Chicago having one of the better run games in the NFL. Yep. That is problematic. The Lions coming off a game where Carolina completely ran all over them. So the formula is there for Chicago to make this game interesting. Now, the difference here is, how much do you believe in Justin Fields and his ability to beat you downfield? Because as much as we want to talk about the 300 yards he gave up on the ground against Carolina, you gave up 250 plus, I believe, against Sam Darnold.
Right.
So, and again, they were chunk plays, they were big plays downfield that were set up because of the run. But can the Bears punish you like Carolina did? I want to say no. But given how inconsistent this defense has been at times throughout the year, whether it was during the start of the year, then they went on their run of being a very good defense, and then it was last week falling straight on their face. Your keys to Sunday, what do the Lions have to do to ensure that they're going to go to Lambeau Field and they're going to play for a playoff spot?
I'll start defensively. Two things. They got to get back to what they were doing well beforehand, before that Carolina game, and that's stopping the run, or at least slowing down the run. I know against the Bears early in the year, they gave up, $160 to Justin Fields, so it's a little different in how they attack, but still, you can't give up like last week. They gave up over 100 yards to two backs. That cannot happen. Now, different personnel, right, with the Bears, Montgomery, Herbert, they have Justin Fields. They can hit you in a lot of different ways, especially the RPO. I mean, Justin Fields is a different animal. He's the best quarterback, at least running the football. I think he needs 200 yards to break the record, which he will not do in Detroit. I do not think so. But at the same time, that's where it starts. Up front, slowing down the run, making this offense more one-dimensional. I know it's easier said than done, but that's something they got to get back to. That's why they had so much success before Carolina. The other part is creating turnovers. They did that against the Bears. Jeff Okudah had the pick six. Aiden Hutchinson had a lot to do with that as well. But still, they got to get back to what they were doing before. Defensively, it's about bend, don't break. We know this defense isn't top 10, but what they've been doing well are those two areas, creating turnovers and slowing down the run. So those are the two areas I'm looking at. The secondary, is, as much as it's been a concern all year, even Justin Fields in this situation, I would rather him beat the Lions throwing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns rather than running all over them, because at least you make Justin Fields beat you. It'd still be depressing, but don't allow them to beat the Lions in what they do best. The second part, and I'll go offense, they got to be better on third down. They were 4 of 12 on third down last week against the Panthers. We know this offense is much better, and they're facing a weaker defense, but still, at home, Jared Goff on the season, he's playing excellent. 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I'm not worried about the offense. To me, Adam, my focus is on the defense, slowing the run, at least stopping the run to some extent. I mean, Justin Fields is going to get you once or twice, but you can't allow him to get another $170 on you. And the second part is they got to get back to creating turnovers. They didn't have a single one last week against the Panthers. So those are the two things. And Aaron Glenn, my eyes are on him this week and how he gets these guys ready. Last week, an abysmal performance, and I'm not going to put all that in AG, but at the same time, it's up to coaching to get these young players to respond the right way. So the big things for me is defensively, Adam. It's got to be in those two areas.
I would say, and I not only agree, I would double down and say you have to win this game convincingly, because Chicago is a team that is picking second in the draft right now. They suck.
Yeah, they do.
And you did only beat them by 1 point at Soldier Field because of a missed extra point, right? I think this needs to be, you go out and impose your will on Chicago. I think this needs to be a week where you reestablish the run game, where you reestablish your dominance at the line of scrimmage. You got pushed around in Carolina, offensively and defensively. That needs to change, not tomorrow, but Sunday against Chicago. That is a must. Justin Fields probably going to run for $120. I can't stop that. That's just likely what's going to happen. Having said that, there is one way I can stop it, or one way I can prevent it from having any meaning or impact on the game. You know how, Jeff? Get out to an early lead. That's what the Lions failed to do with that fumble at the goal line in Carolina. See, they get up. Carolina doesn't run the ball 30, 40 times that game. You got to play ahead if you're the Lions. You are not built to play from behind. And this is the one thing about Jared Goff. And I'm not saying Carolina was Jared Goff's fault, but I need you guys to understand something. This is the reality of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about a franchise quarterback, we are talking about a player who on the worst Sunday your team could ever put out is still good enough to win you a game. By himself. That's technically what a franchise quarterback is, right? The longevity, the consistency, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, if you're the Lions, you don't want to be playing from behind. Now, look, every NFL week is different. It's difficult. These teams are prepared. I get it. You're not going to jump out to a 10, a 14-point lead every week. Some Sundays, you're going to have to play from behind. And you know what? Jared Goff is capable of doing it at times. But every week, consistently, is he the guy I want to rely on? No. That's not where he succeeds. That's not his strength. Where Jared Goff is at his best is when they're ahead, in play action set. He's one of the best quarterbacks we've seen in play action all year.
Absolutely.
So this is a team that needs to get ahead. This is a team that needs to focus on reestablishing the run, and if they do, they should have no issues with Chicago, in my opinion.
And another thing, too, that bodes well for the Lions, is you look at the receiving core for the Bears, and it's a lot different than early in the season when we went to Soldier Field, or the Lions went to Soldier Field. You look at the receivers. Darnell Mooney still leads the team in receiving yards. He's missed the last 3 games. So that should tell you about what you're dealing with. Still, you're going to have Cole Kmet. You're going to have Dante Pettis, most likely. I know he was injured, but he's coming back. Chase Claypool expected to be, to start and be activated. But at the same time, Chase Claypool hasn't been as much of a threat as people expected when he got to Chicago. So at the same time, the secondary for the Lions, which is clearly the weakest part, is going to have a little bit of help this week. I mean, with the receiver core, with the wide receiving core they're facing. So you have that. You have a quarterback in Justin Fields who hasn't proven he can beat you only standing in the pocket. If you can contain him like the Bills were able to do last week, I get it. It's different personnel, but the Bills did a really good job. I think he had 3 rushing attempts for 15 yards. They blew him out because they had to play from behind, to your point. They had to completely become one-dimensional. So I see a similar fashion in which the Lions win. I don't think this will be close. I do think the Lions will have their way. They got a lot to play for. Last home game of the year, they're going to be ready to play. Ford Field's going to be electric. Divisional game, I do think the Bears will show up for it, and they'll be ready to go. But at the same time, you can't look past them, right? I know we look at the Bears, and again, second overall pick as of right now, they stink. But even Jared Goff said this at his press conference, or really at a media scrum. We were that team last year. We had 3 wins, and we felt like we could beat anybody. I feel like the Bears are in that same situation, although they don't have the talent. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to read a stat for you, and I just found this out yesterday. One of the Chicago beat writers said this. They had a quarterback hit last week. It was their only quarterback hit in the last 7 weeks.
Makes sense. They traded Robert Quinn and
so,
Roquan Smith away.
If we're talking about an offensive line, at
they've
least
lost 8 straight, Jeff.
I mean, it's been bad. So
I know Carolina was tough last week. Okay, that was embarrassing. You should have won that game. You can't go out and be that flat. Having said that,
right?
Chicago are worse than Carolina. They are really vying for the #1 overall pick at the moment. They're a Houston win away from getting it. You should go out there and dominate them. You should not win by 1 at home at Ford Field with no Darnell Mooney, with a run game that, yes, in Chicago is good, but what happens with the Lions at Ford Field all year? They go out and they score early.
Yeah.
You get ahead, you get up 10, you get up 13, 14, 17. Justin Fields going to have a long day. And players like James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson, they're going to start to shine. So I think this game really favors well for the Lions, but I've seen crazier shit happen.
Yeah, I have as well.
Speaking of crazy shit, Fish, John Doc, you know Doc, we talked to him the other day.
Yeah?
What do you think if the Lions win? What do you think about standing behind or in front of this TV wall and I throw darts at you?
Like real darts?
Real darts.
Does he dodge them, or he stands completely
stands still?
Okay.
And then you hold the board on your chest. I have good aim. I won't hit you.
I mean...
Have you ever seen me? I'm like a professional darts player.
Fish, you're going to have to sign a waiver before you do that.
I am one of the best darts players, in the world.
We should play darts then. I got a dartboard in my basement. Let's
And when I
play some darts.
say best darts players in the world, I mean, I'm lying.
I mean, I want to say yes, but I also don't want to die.
Don't do it.
You're not going to die. I mean, come on. I'll bring in a dartboard, all right? I'll even prove it to you that I can at least throw it correctly. And if I can throw it correctly, you got to trust me to...
Can we play darts on Monday?
Yeah, I want to do it on the show, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but you're going to try to hit me.
No,
You're going to purposely aim for my head.
If I wanted to kill you, if I wanted to kill you, don't you think I would come up with a more elaborate way of doing it where I would be more satisfied? If I want to kill you, I want to kill you with my bare hands, Fish. I don't want to kill you with a dart.
Yeah, but
that to me isn't satisfying.
You're going to chuck it at the board and you're going to come, oh, sorry, it slipped. Sorry, your head's bleeding.
No, I want to take full responsibility. If I want to kill you, I'm going to fucking kill you, Fish. I'm going to strangle you. I want to feel you die.
No.
Can we do it on
throw a dart and Fish bleeds out. Oh.
Can we do it under certain circumstances?
Huh?
Can we do it under certain circumstances?
Of course. Protection, eyewear, whatever you need. You got it.
Okay.
You guys watched the game last night?
The football game?
Yep.
American football?
Yes.
I
did.
Cowboys
Texans.
I did. I watched the majority of it, actually.
Dude. Dak Prescott.
I mean, one of those picks weren't his fault, but the
That's
second
what I was
one
gonna
was
say.
disgusting.
He's had a lot of picks this year where guys are just dropping the football. But still, the Cowboys, to me, I just...
See, Samuel?
I don't trust
Samuel,
them.
This is your fault. It was not boring. It was not a boring game.
It wasn't super boring.
I thought it was a great game. You know why?
I don't know about great.
Because I made an irresponsible bet last night.
Oh, my.
And it
There
hit.
you go.
And I feel great. I feel great. Let me tell you the
Hey,
exact
are you betting
time.
college football, by the way?
Oh, fuck yeah, Fish.
Like today? Like today's games?
All day today, all day tomorrow.
Good.
So at
And
5
Monday.
o'clock exactly, 5 p.m. on the dot yesterday, I placed a $3,000 bet.
Jesus.
And I called Booner before I did this. Booner, if you're in the chat, please confirm with everybody if they don't believe me. I called Booner right away. I said, Booner, FanDuel's fucking with us. Ezekiel Elliott, over-under, is set at 15.5 carries, and there's no Tony Pollard tonight. Are we taking it? And Booner's like, you're joking. I said, I'm putting a lot of money on it. Do you like it? He's like, yeah, I'll do it with you. I'm like, all right. Hung up on Booner. I put the bet down. Over and under 15.5. I bought it at -108. Almost even money.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
By the time Booner got it, it was minus like 130. FanDuel had already adjusted the line. And I'm going to take full responsibility and credit for that.
Because of how much you put on it.
So, I put the money on.
What did he get? Did he
And
get
the
good money?
3,000, the 3,000.
What did he put that much on it?
No, he put like $50.
Oh, okay.
The 3,000 paid out
He put
$5,278.
responsible money on it, unlike you.
Well, I feel great. Because I just won back, a good chunk of any losses I had over the last like 10, 14 days. So, feeling great. We're back. We're back on top, baby. Back on top. Last week we sucked on best bets too. I think I went 2 and 3. Hey, Dick Licker.
Yeah.
Calm down. It was our first losing week in what, 10 weeks, 11 weeks? Come on. Come on.
Yeah,
Fish.
but
I mean, you gotta work with me.
Well, when you pride yourself on
I
being
do pride
the
myself.
gambling
I don't like
master.
putting out bad bets either, right? But at the same time, I'm trying to make people money. See, you can go 2 and 3 like I did last week, but one of the underdogs hit.
Okay.
And that means you're going to recoup most of the money you lost anyways. So you'll break even at worst.
Yeah, but they're not putting Adham Beydoun money on
I know, I'm not
these.
telling them to, but
Okay.
I just want you to understand where I'm coming from.
I do. I just like saying your bets suck when you have a bad record. Because you got Neil Rule over here from 11 to 1. He bangs out great bets every Friday.
One bet.
Yeah, and
One bet.
and what's his record?
Yes.
The record doesn't matter how many things you're betting. It's a number.
Yeah, but that's just
two
even
numbers.
money bets. I'm trying to make real money.
What's
Underdogs.
Neil's making real money.
I mean, look, man.
Spencer knows. He made some money off Neil's get you right picks.
You know, I did take a Neil get right, by the way, a few weeks ago.
Did it win?
I think it was Army.
Yes.
3 points.
Yeah.
I think that was the week I took it.
And he had the over, which is like never.
No.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that game.
No, it wasn't that
Army
game.
and Navy. Okay.
No, that was
which that was
a
ballsy.
few weeks prior to that.
Yeah.
He took Army to cover 3 points.
Okay.
They did, and I walked in that Monday. I was like, "Hey, Neil, I took the get right." He's like, "Yeah, did you?" You know how Neil talks. Like, yeah. Way to go, Adam. Yeah.
The golden voice in Neil Rule.
Oh God. BetMGM had the Cowboys minus 14 last night before the game. Yeah, I stayed away from that spread.
Oh, okay.
I stayed the hell away from that. That was a tough game to call.
Yeah.
That really was. I think FanDuel closed at minus 13.5. So whoever bet on FanDuel won money, and whoever bet on BetMGM, I think they pushed because the Cowboys won by 14.
Yeah.
So, regardless, let's take a break. When we get back, we're going to talk some Jim Harbaugh, Donovan Edwards, his role in not only saving Michigan's season down the stretch, but what has really shifted the entire Big Ten. We'll get to that coming up in just a second, but before we do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. What are you waiting for? Come down to Birmingham. I'll recommend my stylist, JC. She's the best. Takes care of me every time. Best haircut. Takes care of my obnoxious beard that I really don't know how to stop from growing. That's a whole different problem. But check out Lady Jane's, man. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. Like I mentioned earlier, their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. There is no difference. So check them out. It's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
All right, let me tell you about my good friend Michael Phillips. He shares a lot of interests that I do. He doesn't like fish. I don't like fish. He doesn't like fish's voice. I don't like fish's voice.
Fish and chips, how do you not? Great meal.
So what does that mean? Means he's the number one option for you and your family or friends. What are you waiting for? Give him a call. 313-403-0011. That's 313-403-0011. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show, live, woodwardsports.com. As always, Adam Beydoun, Jeff Iafrate, your hosts, Fish the Dick, and then Alex Westfall.
Love you, Fish.
We love you, man, honestly.
Thank you.
I don't think I would want to do the show long term if you weren't here.
Oh, that's nice of you.
I'm being serious.
Yeah, he's an integral part.
I really don't think I would enjoy this show as much as I do without you.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
That's just the truth. It's not me being nice.
Oh, okay.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Can I say something, though? You might kill me for this. I was going to die anyway.
Okay.
Where's our invite? We want to go to your house and watch football for you. Where's our invite? Where's the morning show invite? What the hell's going on? Where's our invite?
Yeah, Adam, you didn't invite
You wanted
Fish?
to watch soccer.
You're going to call me out like that on the show?
Yeah, I want to watch football. I watched the game yesterday. You wanted to do soccer and you overslept, dingbat.
You're a
you weren't
cunt.
overslept with other people.
You're.
I didn't say who. I didn't say anything about.
Fish, I hope a gorilla sneaks into your house and fucks you.
Wow.
All right.
All right?
I'll call up a gorilla right now.
Fish, you don't want that. Damn it, Adam.
I know.
I want to watch football with
I
my
will.
guy that...
I will. Look, this is not my fault. It's actually Alex's fault because he's the one with a busy schedule, and he is never available for anything that involves the team. Right, Alex?
No. You're the one that, let's go golfing this weekend. And
there we go.
You're like, no, I got
We couldn't find a place!
Because you waited
that was the one
48
time.
hours.
That was the one time I invited you guys.
Yeah, but you waited 48 hours. We told you on Monday, hey, book
you
the
lick
golf
a dick
course.
and shut up, all right?
I told you Monday, hey, book a golf course, and you said, I'll do it today, and you forgot. And you waited till Friday.
I love how Adam goes, Fish, I want to know how much we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And then like 5 minutes later, he's like, shut the hell up,
Yeah,
Fish.
I knew it was coming.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
That's why.
Compliments only last like a minute with him.
Yeah.
If that.
Hey, you can take what you can get, right?
I'll take anything.
You know how impressive Donovan Edwards has been, by the way?
Very
no, I don't,
impressive.
because Fish and Alex are too busy being assholes.
Well, can I read a stat? Because I was looking at the numbers yesterday. He has 872 yards on the season. Guess how many of those yards he has in the last 2 games, and arguably their biggest games of the season?
I want to say probably 390, 400.
You're right on the dot. 401 and 3 TDs in 2 games. So he has half of his yards on the season in the last 2 games. He has been unbelievable. And I'm really excited for next season because I do think Donovan Edwards will be a legitimate. We're talking about Blake Corum being a Heisman candidate. Look out for Donovan Edwards because he's special, man. Not only what he can do. Yeah, next year. I'm saying it right now. He's going to be in that conversation. He's electric. In 2 of the biggest games, banged up with a cast, you have 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's unbelievable. It really is. And in both those games as well, he's averaged against Purdue 7.4 yards per carry. And then Ohio State, it was 9.8 yards per carry, thanks to those 2 big, huge runs at the end of the game. But still, Donovan Edwards, man, he's a bad, bad man.
I'll say this. What Donovan Edwards has provided Michigan is stability. When you lose Blake Corum, that is so difficult. And you saw it against Illinois. Was it Illinois? I believe it was Illinois. Second half, right? Am I missing this, guys? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I do believe it was Illinois.
I don't know if he played at Illinois.
No, he didn't. But I'm saying you saw what Michigan looked like in the second half without Blake Corum.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Stokes and
yes. Yeah. And then you show up to Ohio State and you're like, well, we haven't seen Donovan Edwards in weeks. What is he going to look like? And then bang. Those 2 late carries obviously made the stat line look better than what it was, but Michigan didn't technically need him to win that game. It was actually J.J. McCarthy in the passing game. And then you saw in the Big Ten Championship, that was the standard Michigan way of playing football. Pound the rock with Donovan Edwards, and boy, did they pound it with him. He was exceptional. I thought that game was more impressive for Donovan than Ohio State was. Yeah. So, look, he's brought them the stability that Blake Corum gave them. He brings them a balance. He's also more dynamic than Blake in terms of catching balls out of the backfield.
He's a little more explosive. Those huge runs.
100%. 100%. So, it's crazy to think that in a world you lose Blake Corum, who was a Heisman candidate at one point. Mm-hmm. You lose him, and you don't miss a beat because the guy behind him arguably is a better talent. If you're a lineman, if you're a running back, why wouldn't you want to go to the University of Michigan? That's my question. Why? Why wouldn't you? Unreal. Donovan Edwards, I think, has the potential to be the first. God, Adam, remember your history correctly here. Come on, Adam. Donovan Edwards can be the first running back taken in the first round to come out of Michigan since, who is it? God. Is it Anthony Thomas? Guys, help. Anybody in the chat? Adam, you're missing the fact that their O-line is so damn good and the reason the offense goes. No, Jesse, that's the point. Absolutely. Their offensive line is the best in the country for the 2nd consecutive year. But there is no denying. I mean, Donovan Edwards has special talent.
Yeah.
Now, can he be as good as a Bijan Robinson, last year's Kenneth Walker? Who knows? But he's got the talent. I don't think anybody can deny that.
And he's got the offensive line.
Which makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, they're built different.
Oh, man. Who was it? Who's the running back?
It wasn't Anthony Thomas.
God.
He was taken in the second round. But
I'm going to find it. I'm sorry. I'm pissed off now. If it wasn't Anthony Thomas, it was a running back. God damn it. Come on. It was like in 2003, 2004. Come on, Adam. Chris Perry. That's who. Chris Perry was the name. I apologize. For some reason, I thought it was Anthony Thomas. It was Chris Perry.
Yep.
Chris Perry was taken 26th overall, I think, by the Bengals? Maybe. Could be wrong.
Yes, he was. You are correct.
See, I had it on the tip of my tongue, man.
Mm-hmm.
But Donovan Edwards, I think, could be your first offensive skill position player to get drafted potentially in the late part of the first round right now. And not 23, but in 24. He has the potential to be the first Michigan skill position player to get taken in the first round offensively. Since who?
You know who.
You work with him.
Yeah, I'll say you know who. We bring it up all the time.
Braylon Edwards. It's been that long for Michigan.
Yeah. I do think. Because of what he can do in the passing game. I think that's huge. He's not one-dimensional. He's all three-down back. I mean, with what Donovan can do, he's big, 6'1", physical, he's explosive. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can line him up at receiver. There's so many things he does well. And if he comes out next season and has, 1,400 yards, whatever it is, I have faith he'll be a first-round pick, or at least an early second round. Because I agree with you, man. The talent's there. And the O-line's there. And they're going to have the same offense, so you never know.
All right,
He's got the best chance, I think, currently on the roster out of all the skill position players. There's no doubt about that.
Thomas Perry asks, Adam, did you just say U of M has the best O-line in the country? Yes, they absolutely do. It's not even close. They have the best center in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They have some of the better tackles, some of the better guards in the country. They're loaded. Michigan are loaded at the offensive line. I mean, come on, how is this a conversation? They absolutely are the best offensive line in the country. Having said that, the expert, the man who I enjoy talking to probably more than any human we will ever bring on, and that is Anthony Broome. Can't wait to have a conversation with him, previewing Michigan TCU. We'll talk about Donovan Edwards. We'll talk about that very same offensive line. It's been a month now since we've seen Michigan in action. It's been just about a month.
Yeah.
I think maybe we forgot how good this team is. We'll talk to Anthony and clear it all up coming up next. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Cintron.
Well, let me tell you about them, because they're the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintron has combined all three of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. You could pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler box today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron.
Why wait?
All right.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Let me tell you about our friends from Alta, because at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Top of the hour. And we are joined by my good friend, Anthony Broome. Anthony, good morning. Long time no see, long time no talk. Hope you're doing well. How's it going, buddy?
It's going well. Yeah, the holidays have kind of flown by. I know it's New Year's weekend, but once we turn the page from Christmas in the Broome house, it turns to game week in the college football playoff, and decided to sit this one out, take a few extra days at home, but hoping to join my my coworkers in LA next week. So we'll see what happens with this game. But yeah, thanks for thinking of me and having me here.
No, absolutely, man. You're the go-to. I'll say this, and I want to start with Jim Harbaugh. You know, we've had the conversation now for just about a year and a half, almost 2 years. His improvement, his changes, when it stemmed from Don Brown, bringing in the younger assistants, bringing in a McDonald, then a Minter. It's changed so much for Michigan so quickly. But, you know, he's been building this foundation for years now, and I just can't say enough about Jim actually being able to, dare I say, build a powerhouse at Michigan. I don't see anybody, Anthony, right now that can get in the way of Michigan being a top 3, top 4 program in the country for the next 5 years if they can go out and beat TCU. Am I crazy?
I don't think you're crazy. I think this is, you know, they've been on the precipice of this. And the biggest, I've said it for years, I mean, a lot of Michigan's issues in the first 5-6 years of the Jim Harbaugh era were self-inflicted mistakes. I mean, you'd come out and wouldn't be prepared in some of these bigger games. I think they'd shoot themselves in the foot at times in critical moments. So one, they've learned to stay out of their own way. No moment is too big for them. And it speaks to, you know, again, Jim Harbaugh's done a phenomenal job of bringing in assistant coaches who can get the message across. I think that's the biggest thing. The other thing too, oh my God, my dog is squeaking behind me while I'm doing it. Ridiculous. He's done a phenomenal job of bringing in guys that can get the message across. They often say you're only as good as your assistant coaching staff, and guys like Mike McDonald and now Jesse Minter and Sharon Moore and Steve Klinkscale, you know, they aren't just the old red asses that say, you know, you guys are going to do it my way and we're going to double down and do it more angrily and more physically. No, they're pliable in their approach, and they're schematically flexible on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, I think we've seen, again, I know this is a run-first Michigan team, but this isn't the same type of offense as the 2015, 2016 Michigan teams. I mean, you've seen them add some modern concepts to it, RPOs, play action. You know, the biggest thing that's led to this turnaround is just, it was always going to take an all-hands-on-deck effort from the guys that are on the roster. The senior leadership the last few years has been phenomenal. The buy-in has been phenomenal. And again, it was ugly at the time, but in a lot of ways, that COVID season was maybe the best thing that could have happened to them, because it got, it allowed them to purge the program of, I don't want to say malcontents, but guys that weren't down for the mission or down for the cause. And to me, I think, at a certain point, Jim Harbaugh had to just kind of step back and be more of the CEO in terms of delegating things to his assistants, delegating things to his leadership. And I think that all of this in the magical stew that is the last, 27 games of Michigan football has led to where they're at today. And I think it is sustainable.
Anthony, thanks for joining us. Number one, I got to say, fire up chips, because I know you were watching last night, taking down Michigan. I know it was probably awkward for you, but at the same time, it was impressive. I had to bring that one up. But my question, the Big Ten championship game, you saw Aiden O'Connell, Charlie Jones, a.k.a. Chuck Sizzle, and what they were able to do to Michigan. Although Michigan, decisively won, You're looking at this matchup, right, with TCU. Max Duggan, Heisman candidate. You have Quentin Johnson, who's a first-round wide receiver. Kind of your expectations for this Michigan defense, specifically that secondary, and how well they're going to match up with those two dangerous weapons.
It's going to be tough. I mean, they have their work cut out for them. Quentin Johnson is a guy, again, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but does some Calvin Johnson-esque things in terms of the way that TCU uses him. He's a guy who's 6'4", I think 210, 215, runs in the 4.3s. I mean, he's an animal. He's a monster. And, Michigan has a couple guys in their secondary with length. You've got freshman Will Johnson, who he's 6'2", 6'3", has good ball skills. I think right now Will Johnson, former 5-star recruit, is their best cornerback. I think he's played that well. And it's not just that he's played well. He's played well in a room of guys with DJ Turner and Jamon Green, who have also played good football, but Will Johnson down the stretch is just kind of taking it to that next level. So the secondary is going to have, again, they'll have their work cut out for them. And this is a TCU team that, they'll try and get you with some of the bubble screens and the short passes and spread you out a little bit. But Max Duggan will also launch that ball down the field too. So you got to make sure you don't get beat over the top. You think back to that Ohio State game. Marvin Harrison Jr. got Michigan a few times, but they never, he beat, I think it was Jamon Green on a touchdown. But other than that, they were kind of able to just keep him in front of him, and he didn't really burn them over the top like Michigan's wide receivers, burned Ohio State's secondary. So the challenge will be tough. You're going to have to get some pressure. You're going to have to be, fundamentally sound. And the good news is that for Michigan, for them to not do that, it would kind of be a reversal of what we've seen for the first 13 games of the year. So, again, TCU is going to move the ball. They're going to score some points. Quentin Johnson's going to get a couple. Max Duggan is probably going to get out and run and pick up a couple first downs with his legs. You just need to stay within yourself and play your type of game. And I think also you want to make them drive the field. Obviously you want to get off the field as soon as you can, but if they get into the red zone, that's not the worst thing in the world because they haven't been very efficient down there. So, it's the same recipe as it would be for like a game against Ohio State. You turn touchdowns into field goals. You get off the field on third down, and in a critical situation, turn them over in a spot that matters.
Well, I'll say this, Anthony. We haven't watched this team play in just about a month. But I think the one thing that does, I don't want to say concerns me, but the reality is TCU have only been preparing for this game and only Michigan and how to stop Michigan and how to play against their defense, how to slow down the run game. I do think this is a game that'll be closer than people think, especially for the first half. But I just gotta believe Michigan run away in the second half with this. They're just too much at the front seven, or excuse me, at the offensive line. I apologize. I don't think TCU's front seven has any chance of stopping Donovan Edwards in that offensive line. No.
Those guys have to come to play for sure. I mean, Michigan, the reason that they are where they are is because they have been able to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football. So, you say that, of course, TCU's only been preparing for Michigan. Michigan's only been preparing for TCU. And it's been a little bit different for them because there was a vibe last year of after Michigan beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten, that it was almost like the next 4 weeks were just a party until they got down to Miami. And Georgia crushed them. And I think Michigan's been fairly, way more businesslike in their approach this time around. You have guys that know they've been there. Those two goals of winning the Big Ten, beating Ohio State, they've done that before already, so they want the bigger prize. And I do think they're going to be ready for this. I think the offensive line, again, that front that TCU will throw out there, whether it's a 4-2-5 or a 3-3-5, it's a little bit different. Michigan really hasn't seen a ton of that, but at the end of the day, it's football. It's you get a hat on a hat, you get out and block someone, and you open up lanes for your running backs. And if TCU's able to slow some of it down, as we saw in the Ohio State game, I think Michigan's comfortable putting a little bit more on J.J. McCarthy's plate with each passing week this year. So, again, I mean, you have to play the football game. It's not one on paper. It's not one by Vegas spreads or analytics or whatever. But you go and you look position by position, I mean, outside of the wide receivers, Michigan has and maybe quarterback. I think quarterback's a little more of a coin flip than the statistics might suggest, but Michigan's got the advantage in pretty much every area that matters. And I'll be frank about it. If they don't win this game, it would be massively, massively disappointing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And again, can't look past TCU. We know how much of a threat they pose, especially with the Heisman candidate at quarterback and Quentin Johnson, like you've already alluded to. But I got to ask you, as someone who covers the team, I want your opinion on this because I've had this conversation with a lot of different people on who you'd rather see in the national championship. And again, not looking past TCU, but for you specifically, there's different storylines for each team, right? Ohio State, you have a chance to beat them in the Natty. If they beat Georgia, you have bragging rights for a long time. Or you get to rematch with Georgia, the best team in college football, a team that Michigan lost to last year. In your opinion, what would be the better storyline, facing Georgia or facing an Ohio State?
I mean, it's tough to say that anything but Michigan and Ohio State, like there would be so much juice for that. Not just between the rivalry with those two teams, but also, with the changing landscape of college sports, for two Big Ten teams to playing in the national title game that is televised by ESPN, which is in bed with the SEC, playing in the Los Angeles area, where now the Big Ten will have a foothold a year or so from now. I mean, there's a lot of juice that comes with that. I mean, I think that, listen, if you're looking at it from a perspective of, who has the better shot to, or who you have the better shot against, I think Michigan would have zero qualms about seeing Ohio State again. I think we know what they are, right? I mean, Michigan's done it twice now. I think they match up. This Jim Harbaugh Michigan team is built to bust a team like Ohio State. I mean, that's everything they've been built on the last 2 years is beating that team. It can go either way. I'll be honest, I don't have a preference from it. I think if it is Michigan, Georgia, a lot of times we just try to get through the college football seasons and get to the point where the two best teams in college football play each other. That's been Georgia, that's been Michigan this year. And last year, I think if you play that game 10 times against Georgia, Michigan maybe finds a way to win one. I think it's a little closer to, I won't say 50-50. I would still pick Georgia to win that game, but it might be 60-40 or 70-30 that Michigan would have a shot to finish this thing off. So, there are certainly, the hypotheticals are always, what if they play Ohio State and lose? It's no, here's a hypothetical for you. What if they play Ohio State again and win? Why isn't that? It's the hypotheticals.
You would be able to talk shit to any Buckeye.
Right? So,
I think that is bragging rights for maybe 100 years. Ohio State could win the next 50 meetings against Michigan, and it wouldn't matter if Michigan beat them in the national title game. That is the ultimate fuck you, I think.
Yeah, I would stop short. I would say, I know North Carolina didn't win the national title, but it would be just a notch below them knocking out Coach K in the Final Four. That is an all-time fuck you, to use your term. But it'd be up there, man. And to do it, to close it out like that would be, I think, the most satisfying national championship that any team has ever won.
I'll leave you with this, okay? I do agree it probably would be more satisfying. I do believe, though, Michigan winning a natty against Georgia would be really just... it would redefine the whole landscape of college football. But, Anthony, your quick thoughts on this before we have to go. Michigan, if they can beat TCU, I'm ready to put them in the class of Georgia, USC, Alabama, as long as Saban is there, Clemson. These teams, in terms of brand recognition, I would say recruiting ability, obviously success, they need to win a national championship before you consider them really that tier. But, how long have we been saying this about Georgia before last year, right? They were always on the cusp. I think Michigan is entering a 2, 3, 4-year stretch probably where they're going to be the talk of college football alongside of Georgia, alongside of USC. Your quick thoughts on that?
I could see it. There are certain areas where I think recruiting, they'll always just kind of be a notch below. Because they do a good job of just getting their guys in there too. and backfilling some of those needs through the transfer portal. But I mean, we're talking about. I mean, this is a year where let's call a spade, guys. Like college football across the board is not. Bama wasn't Bama this year, and Georgia isn't what Georgia. Georgia's very good, but they haven't quite been what Georgia was last year. Ohio State was a bit down. Michigan is in. Again, I know there's this. There's like a hedging of bets here, but honestly, if Michigan doesn't get it done this year, it's. I don't want to say they'll never do it, but because I agree, they have the nice little window here where they can keep kind of getting after this. But yeah, this is potentially a paradigm shifting thing for them, especially for a Michigan program that hasn't had a lot of postseason success, and that predates Jim Harbaugh. I mean, they barely won bowl games under Bo, and they would struggle in bowl games under Lloyd Carr. You have a chance to kind of really kick this thing into the next level here. And again, you can make the argument that it should have never taken it 7 or 8 years, but guess what? It did, and it's here now. So, yeah, if they find a way to pull this off, it is. I think they've already won at a clip the last 2 years where they do belong in that same conversation, but you need something that solidifies that and puts a stamp on that, and at least getting one of these next, getting this game Saturday, I think we can really, really start having that conversation.
Fair enough. Well, Anthony, I can't thank you enough for joining us this morning. As always, enjoy your weekend. Happy holidays. Happy New Year, of course. And hopefully we'll see you next week after a Michigan win.
Yep. Thanks, Anthony.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Go Blue.
All right. When we get back around the NFC North, Vikings and Packers play this weekend. Justin Jefferson 209 yards away from breaking Calvin Johnson's record. Can he do it this weekend in his 16th game? And what would you think of the record if he was able to do it in 16 games, Jeff? We'll get to Justin Jefferson, the Packers, and the Vikings coming up in just a bit. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Big Boy.
Let me tell you about them because it's wintertime in Detroit, and it's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. You can try the classic meatloaf or Cajun chicken Alfredo, but how about breakfast as well? The stuffed potato pancakes, the lumberjack Santa Fe Garden, the Blockbuster. Check it all out. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
We here at Woodward Sports would like to thank everybody who helped us stuff our studio. The third annual Stuff a Studio was a major success thanks in part to our partners at Guardian Alarm and Meyer Stores for making it all possible. And of course, we couldn't do it without our community leaders and viewers like you. Thank you for dropping off toys to our studio that were taken to the Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor so every sick child could have a happy holiday.
We are incredibly grateful for Woodward Sports, Guardian Alarm, and Meyer for making the holidays so special for our patients and families.
So what we do is try to bring some normalcy to their lives at this time. This is a labor of love. It brings so much joy, and not just for the families and for the children, but for our staff.
Thank you.
Chili Pepper Tanning is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPepperTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more on the way.
Chili Peppers Tan.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Jeff, Justin Jefferson, 209 yards away from breaking Calvin Johnson's record. That's what I want to start with first before we get into the Vikings-Packers game. I mean, over 2 games, that's very doable for a guy who, over the last 3 weeks has posted a minimum of 100 yards. He put 223 against the Lions, 123 against the Colts, and then last week 133 against the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, he's been on a tear.
He's probably going to do it.
Yeah.
And... I know the 17th game, all that, yada, yada, yada. Do you think he could break it in one game? Does he go for 220, 215?
He had 220
earlier. Week 1.
Yeah, I was going to say he had 220 previously in the season. So, yeah, I think he could. I think he will, too. 209 in 2 games is doable. I mean, you just need 100 yards a game, a little over. He'll be fine. But I'll never...
His last 2 games are at Green Bay, at Chicago. So
he could definitely put up 140 against Chicago. But
remember, week 1 he put up $184 against Green Bay. So I'm just saying.
And they know that. I know players. You look at records. Justin Jefferson clearly knows what he's chasing. Kirk does too. Not that they're going to force the ball to Justin, but I mean, let's be honest here. 17 games, he's going to be able to break it. At the same time, it never takes away the significance of what Calvin Johnson did. He is my favorite player of all time. So in 16 games, what he was able to do, I'll always appreciate that. But it's just different. Like you said, different eras. Now we're in a 17-game season. Records are going to be broken. It's going to be hard because you're going to have to look back and compare the 16 game to the 17 game. But Justin Jefferson is a monster. He has never had below 1,500 yards in a season. Like, he's different. He really is. I would say he's the best receiver in football. And he has an opportunity to do it. So he's a big part. And that's why I saw this conversation come up too. I get the MVP as a quarterback position.
Which I think is stupid.
I do too. I think other players like a Justin Jefferson or Nick Bosa need to be considered. For what
is Jalen Hurts still the MVP?
No.
Oh, why?
He was injured.
Oh, he's injured. Oh, so you're not a fuckhead. I actually respect you, Jeff.
Patrick Mahomes to me is the MVP. He was before, so I'm a little biased.
I think Justin Jefferson's the MVP right now.
You can make that argument.
Had Jalen Hurts not been injured, probably would have voted Hurts. But if we're not going to give Derek Carr an MVP or Carson Wentz an MVP, and they got hurt down the stretch, you better not give it to Jalen Hurts. That's all I know.
No, you're right.
So for me, it's Justin Jefferson, then Patrick Mahomes, and I would say in 4th, I'd probably vote Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think Nick Bosa's
Nick
top
Bosa
5,
deserves some credit.
I mean, he's a monster.
He's
best
been
defense in the league. But yeah, Justin Jefferson, I do think he will break it. 209 in 2 games, unless Jefferson, completely melts down, he can get that. He's getting about 100 yards a game, so on this pace, he's going to blow that record out of the water. He might clear it. He might even get 2K this year. So, yeah, as much as I hate seeing that record get broken, you love it because it's a significant part of history. And Justin Jefferson, if someone's going to break it, it would be him. It would be JJ.
I think he's been the best wide receiver since he's come out of college. Yeah. He's been exceptional. We need to understand the pace he's playing at. This dude is on pace to hit 15,000 receiving yards by year.
Oh, 15,000. Yeah, you're right.
By year 8.
Yep.
At the latest, year 9. On pace to have 100 touchdowns by year 11. In a league where you can really play as long as you want and still be productive. I mean, Jerry Rice... Are we really going to have a conversation about him actually going after Rice's record?
Mm-hmm.
If he decides to play 14, 15, 16 years, and then at the tail end have a few 600-700-yard years like Jerry Rice did? I mean, Justin Jefferson has been... I don't know how to even explain it. You look at his first year in Minnesota as a rookie, 88 catches, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns. Year 2. 108 catches, 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns. This year, 123 catches, 1,800 yards, 8 touchdowns, and he's got 2 games left. He might be the first receiver to hit 2,000 yards. Think about that.
Yeah, it's...
What the fuck?
And by the way, correction, I
said...
You
do that in Madden!
Correct, yeah, that's true. In correction, I said he's never been below 15, I meant 14. But still, has never been below, he hit 1,400 yards.
As hell.
Absolutely. If you take his first 3 years, he has, and I'm assuming with the last 2 games left, he'll finish with 5,000 career yards in 3 seasons. If he plays 15 years in the league, I mean, come on. He's going to be at 20K receiving yards. So he's going to get close. But again, the records, you got to... Context matters, but no doubt. Justin Jefferson's, he has all-time talent. So, as important he is to what they do offensively, even with TJ, even with Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, he's that dude.
Think about the season he's had. And I want to bring up Calvin Johnson for a little bit. You go back to Calvin Johnson's year. His record-breaking year.
Yeah.
And you go to the log. and you talk to me about what he was able to accomplish in 2012, there were only 2 games that whole season where he was held to less than 50 yards receiving. Only 2. Justin Jefferson this year has been held to less than 50 receiving yards 4 times. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I find that remarkable. Justin Jefferson has had 3 games where he's caught 180 yards or more. That year, Calvin Johnson did it twice, and both of them were in 200-yard performances. These guys are exceptional. I don't care if he did it in 16 or he did it in 17. We're talking about some of the greatest individual seasons by a wide receiver ever.
Yeah.
Ever. It's fascinating.
You know what's even more impressive, too, and it's a little different because Calvin, you're throwing him the ball down the field, so the catch rate's going to be a little skewed. But Calvin Johnson, in that year where he had 1,964 yards, he had a 59.8% catch rate. Justin Jefferson this year, you know what his catch rate is?
72?
70.
Yeah.
Almost 71. I mean,
he's unbelievable. And Matthew Stafford, I mean, he used to throw up dots.
Right, yeah, so.
Like Hail Marys, prayers. Hey, Calvin, go get it.
And they're doubling.
Yeah, it is. My God. Justin Jefferson's special, man.
He is. He really is, man.
All right, Packers-Vikings. Who you got?
Ooh. This one's tough for me because, like I said, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. The Packers are playing some of their best football all season. They're clicking. Now, Aaron Rodgers, the last 3 or 4 games, he hasn't played that well. I mean, I think he has just as many interceptions as touchdowns in the last 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. But it is at Lambeau. That's kind of where my concern is. I do think Green Bay at home, they've played really well as of late. I'm going to go with the Vikings, though. I do think the Vikings are going to be ready to play. I know their secondary has struggled, and against a weak passing attack with the Packers, they might benefit from that. But at the same time, I just think how underperforming or how really bad the Packers defense has played all season compared to the talent they have. I know they lost Rashad Gary early in the year, but something tells me, man, I mean, there's too many weapons to account for. You could put Jair on Justin Jefferson, but what about TJ? What about Thielen? What about KJ Osborne? What about Dalvin Cook? There's a lot the Packers are going to have to handle. So as long as Kirk Cousins takes care of the football, I'm going to give me the Vikings here on the road. I think they win something along the lines of 23-17. I think it'll be close, but give me the Vikings to win that game.
I'm going Packers to win this game. I'm going Packers to win in quite thrilling fashion. 27-24. Packers win. Vikings are going to lose this game. They've played way too many one-possession games, and they haven't lost one yet. They're due for one.
Mm-hmm.
Packers with more to play for. Yes, I know the Vikings can lock up the number 1 seed, but that is only dependent on them winning out and the Eagles losing out, which I don't think will happen. So if I'm the Vikings, I don't want to play a 7 seed. I kind of don't mind falling to 3, to be honest with you. So,
and the division's already clinched, so at that point
I think Minnesota loses. Give me the Packers. I think it's all going to be on the table week 18.
Mm-hmm.
Packers-Lions. Let's take a break. When we get back, Killian Hayes suspended. We'll talk about his suspension, what it means for the Pistons, what it means for his development, and then we'll wrap up with my best bets and mine and Jeff's predictions for the Michigan-TCU game along with the Lions-Bears. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Let me tell you about them because, guys, with winter here, you're inside. You need your own protected. Guardian Alarm can help you out with that. You just got to call 1-800-STAY-OUT, and you can rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection in your home. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT.
South Carolina.
Let them know
Go
your friends
Irish.
at Woodward Sports sent you.
Bye. Stay out.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. As Braylon Edwards would say, why wait? Cranberry. It's the best commercial ever.
It is.
Your boy, looking like Mike Tyson. Suspended 3 games.
Well, Mike
Thoughts?
Tyson, and this isn't a shot, but it's just reality. Mike Tyson swings when you're looking at him. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a difference. But we expected this. I mean, listen, like I said yesterday, Killian Hayes, yes, he stood up for himself. But doing that, hitting someone in the back of the head, there's a reason why that's banned in any combat sport. I mean, you look at MMA, boxing, you can't punch someone in the back of the head. And more specifically, it was a forearm. Whether he put him to sleep or not, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is it was a cheap shot. You know what was funny, though, and ironic, is since the incident happened on the Pistons bench, and they were around the incident, they weren't suspended, besides Diallo and Killian, because they were at their bench. The Magic left their bench, came over to the little scrum that was going on. 8 players got suspended for the Magic, and including Mo. So, again, they're going to be struggling for their next game. They got to get together a roster. The Pistons only lose 2 players, lose Killian Hayes, Hamidou Diallo. Alex, do you have the graphic of Killian Hayes? This is on Woodward Sports, our Instagram. There you go. This is per Adrian Wojnarowski. For the people listening on the podcast, there's a graphic up right now from our Woodward Sports Instagram page. Detroit Pistons guard Killian Hayes has been suspended for 3 games. I mean, at the same time, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and, Killian Hayes in his own right, it was a decision he made. He was disrespected, and he felt like that was the way to respond. And again, for our podcast listeners, here's the video. There's the cheap shot. It is what it is. I mean, Mo has been doing this for a while. He's a dirty player. If you watch the NBA, you know Mo's a dirty player. He's kind of an instigator. And the fact that you pushed Killian Hayes into the bench, I mean, I don't want to say you were asking for that, but you were asking for something. I mean, he did instigate that. But 3 games. I mean, for something like that, I will take 3 games. I mean, you could have argued he probably could have got a longer suspension because of where he was hit. But it doesn't affect the Pistons. I mean, let's be honest here. They're one of the worst teams. Killian Hayes is going to learn from this. He's young. He's never been in a scrum like this. So that's a part. I mean, these are professional athletes. They're human beings. They have emotions. And if you get pushed like that and you feel disrespected, he's going to respond accordingly. So I'm not mad at Killian. I'm just stating the obvious. It was a cheap shot. Mo did get what he deserved. And moving forward, it is what it is. Diallo suspended for a game. Killian Hayes suspended for 3 games. You take it, you move on, and you forget about it.
So all those suspensions are effective immediately, correct?
Yes. You say the suspensions
for the
are...
Magic and the Pistons.
Yes.
All right.
So you
Magic play tonight. So do the Pistons.
Magic has to get together a roster.
Well, the Magic are 4.5-point dogs only at home. So am I picking Washington 4.5?
I would probably lean. I mean, they're missing 8 players, and 7 of them are significant players. So
right,
they're going to have to pull some G League guys to play.
4.5 points. I think they can. I think Washington can cover 4.5. Come on, there's no way the Magic cover. Do we really think they do? This is betting advice I'm asking for right now.
Now, it's been reported as well, and I know my guy Jester brought this up in the chat. I've heard this, and I haven't seen the report, so I don't want to say it is reported, but I've been told that the suspensions for the Magic are going to be staggered. So whether that's a couple players suspended, and then the next game, a couple more players suspended.
God dang it, man.
But either way, the guys are suspended, a lot of them. And that's the new thing with the NBA. I mean, that's the rules that have been put in place. You can't leave your bench when something like that happens. And a lot of Magic players left their bench to get involved, and that's what happens.
I didn't know that. Well, then I'm not betting. And that line makes more sense now.
You'd probably buy their own.
So that means they have their players.
4.5, yeah. And I'm curious how they get selected. Like, what players stay? Do the Magic get a say in that? Do the NBA get a say in that?
No, they have a process for this. They just dump all the names in a hat and pick them up.
And you're not playing.
So the Bulls. Pistons play the Bulls tonight in Chicago. By the way, can we talk about this? Since Michael Jordan retired, the Bulls have been irrelevant outside of a few good years. and they've never gotten back to the
They
finals.
haven't been entertaining since Derrick Rose.
You know how we talk about Michigan being like a program that when they're good, man, it's good for the sport?
Yeah.
When the Bulls are good, it's good for the NBA. It's kind of sad. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, that's some nice players. 15 and 19. What a disappointment.
Yeah, Billy Donovan to me, he ain't it. I'm sorry. So we'll see. I think some of those players, Chicago's heading towards a rebuild. I mean, they have all this collection of veteran talent. It ain't working out. You better sell right now.
What did Skip Bayless say about Killian Hayes?
So,
did I miss something?
No, I mean, Skip and Shannon talked about the incident, which is good. You know, nationally, it's not an incident you want people nationally to talk about, but it is what it is. And Shannon gave his opinion. He was more on Killian's side, like, hey, this is what you sign up for. So you take a hit like that, you expect to get something back. And Skip was more, you know, what you expect out of Skip. I mean, that's what it is. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I mean, if you watch the game, I don't think anybody understands the situation unless you know the team and you know these players. Like, if you don't know who Killian Hayes is and you see that, you're like, oh, that's dirty. But context matters.
Skip wanted him suspended for 12-plus games.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
That's what it is.
Come on. He's a first-time offender.
If you know Killian,
let's be grown-ups, please, instead of dramatic all the time.
Killian hasn't hurt a fly, dude. Like,
he didn't even hurt Wagner.
No,
It was the biggest...
It's a cheap shot.
It's a cheap shot, but he hit him like a sissy.
But this isn't...
It wasn't even a good punch.
This isn't...
Like, if Killian went up and gave him a freaking great left hook,
right to the
knocked
chin.
him out cold, flat on the ground, all right, we're talking 8-10 games. That's assault.
Yeah.
But it was a forearm because he didn't even know how to punch. He's French. We had to bail out the French in World War II. They don't got it in their DNA. No, if he was an American, he probably would have slept Wagner. But he's not. He's French.
And by the way...
He's an innocent little baby.
And by the way, instead of focusing your energy, and I'm talking about national media or just the NBA in general, focusing on Killian Hayes, why don't you go look at dirty players in the NBA? Like a Grayson Allen. Why don't you go look at those guys?
Draymond Green slumped his own
come
teammate.
on. There's dirty players. Dirty player. Killian Hayes is far from that. He doesn't have a track record of doing that. He's never done that. He's the most, cool, calm, and collected guy there is. And for him to respond like that, it's like somebody who doesn't yell and they start yelling at you. You know they're pissed off because it does not happen. Like for Killian, for him to respond like that, you really have to piss him off. I've never seen Killian be like that. I mean, I've seen Isaiah Stewart be like that, trying to chase LeBron out of the arena, but Killian Hayes is just not in his MO. So
okay. Well, here's what we got. We got best bets coming up, and then our predictions for the games, and then mailbag. So let's take a break. When we get back, I'll give you my 5 best bets for the weekend. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
Let me tell you about them. The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps spread awareness about the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there.
And that one Lions playoff win in 1991, yeah, Detroit fans were there.
Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Ryan Armani has been on quite the journey with our good friends over at over at Custom Health Centers. Dr. Jason and the crew have helped Ryan Armani lose over 20 pounds, and I'm so very happy for him. So what are you waiting for? Change your life around like Ryan has by giving Dr. Jason and his excellent team a call, 844-789-8446. Let's get into best bets. Boys, we do this every Friday. And outside of last week, I thought we've had a good run. Last week, unfortunately, it came to an end, but we got some winners. I think we got some winners, and we're going to have to bet on college football. That's non-negotiable. And that is, you must do it. You have no choice. And we're going to go with the favorites. So we're going to start on a Saturday. Michigan to cover 6.5. I think Michigan win this game by a touchdown. Give me Michigan and the points, 6.5-point favorites, and give me Georgia, 6.5-point favorites as well. I'm taking both the schools, 6.5-point favorites. Georgia, Michigan, to see each other in the national title game. We'll go to tonight, actually. Tonight we have a best bet. NC State to cover 1.5. Even money, minus 105. Give me NC State to cover. And then we'll switch our focus to the NFL, where we have the Cleveland Browns on the road at the Washington Commanders. Give me the Browns money line, plus 110. Give me the Browns to end the Commanders season. Give me the Browns to win. Deshaun Watson has one of his better performances. And then give me the points for the Buccaneers. 3-point favorites. Give me the Bucs to cover. They're going to annihilate the Carolina Panthers. Tom Brady is in a no funny business mood. I think Tampa Bay played their best game of the year, and they clinch up their division. So the 5 bets: the Browns money line, the Bucs to cover 3 points, Michigan and Georgia to cover 6.5, NC State tonight to cover 1.5. 5 bets, $100 pays out $2,638. If you put $10 on it, it pays out $263. So you guys make your bets. Those are the 5 bets today. I'm seeing U of M as a 7.5-point favorite. Thomas, take the alternate. Buy the 6.5, don't buy the 7.5, okay? To me, this has touchdown game written all over it. Although I think Michigan probably are up only by a point at halftime, maybe even tied. I think they pulled away. TCU cover late. Give me 6.5. I feel good about a touchdown. I don't feel good about anything more than that. So take the alternate. All right. I kind of gave my pick away by telling you Michigan we're going to win by 6.5. But, Jeff, Michigan, TCU.
Yep.
Who's winning this game?
I'm going to go with Michigan here.
D-Mac, can you throw my bets in the chat, please? Thank you, sir.
And I'm going to go with Michigan here. Even though I think TCU does pose a threat in a lot of different areas. Quentin Johnson, Max Duggan, that's the big one for me. I just don't think defensively Michigan has faced better defenses. I know TCU's they're all right, but they're not going to be ready for the physicality of Michigan. I just think they're more physical. They're going to be dominant up front in the trenches. They're going to win that battle at the line of scrimmage. And I do think Michigan have their way with TCU. I do think TCU scores some, but I'm going to go with Michigan here, 34-21. Give me Michigan. They win by 13 points. I could see TCU scoring over 20, but I'm going to say it right now. Michigan, whether it's with JJ, Donovan, or both, they're going to find a way, and I think that offense is going to show up to play. So give me Michigan 34-21. They get out, win by 13.
Okay, I like it. Give me Michigan to win 27-20. I think they cover the 7 or 6.5, excuse me. Michigan win by a touchdown and book their first national title appearance in the college football playoff era. It'll be their first college football playoff win, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go to the Bears and Lions. Jeff? Lions 5.5-point favorites. Who do you got?
To no one's surprise, I got the Lions here. At home, last home game of the year. They know what's at stake. I know they knew what was at stake last week, but now it's more serious. You got to win out. Even then, you might not make the playoffs. It's the Bears. They're a much worse roster than the Panthers. They're revolved around Justin Fields. Their defense isn't anything special. This depends on if they can somewhat contain Justin Fields, because he can make a play when you need one, and that does terrify me with this defense and how they've shown at times they can melt down. But I'm looking at this offense and how they've played at home. Jared Goff, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the season. He's more comfortable. This offense looks night and day. I shouldn't say night and day, but they're way better at home. Give me the Lions here, 34-17. I think they get it done decisively.
Wow.
I think they're going to unleash all of their frustration from last week and go and get it done. Ben Johnson even said, we didn't even run our best plays last week. We couldn't because they had to play from behind. I think they're going to save some of those plays, use them against the Bears. It's a team they're familiar with. I get it's a divisional game. The Bears are going to show up to play. But give me the Lions here, 34-17. I think they get it done decisively. I'm going to be honest. This is the biggest win I've picked all year for the Lions. So it's a feeling.
It surprises me because I thought I would surprise you with a blowout win. Because we're on the same page, actually.
Okay.
I'm going 38-21. Lions win big. I think they do. They close the door on any doubt that they went on a run and it wasn't a fluke. Because if they lose this game, you start questioning, well, what the hell was that 7-week stretch? Was it even real? Just like 1-6. It's like, which one is it?
Right.
And if you go and finish the season 0-3, can I even trust you? Lions win big. Feeling good about it. Let's take a break. When we get back, mailbag time. We'll answer all of your questions. So much more coming up. I'm excited. If you haven't seen the best bets, NC State to cover tonight, -1.5. Georgia, Michigan, -6.5 to cover. Browns money line, Bucks to cover the 3 points. Those are the 5 bets this weekend. Bet them individually, put them in a parlay, whatever you like. We've been 4-1 multiple times. I want to say 4 weeks we've been 4-1. We've gone 5-0 once, so hopefully I deliver you a 5-0 before the new year. But regardless, that's it for now. When we get back, get your questions in the chat. Mailbag time, we'll answer all of them. And I'll tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness. What are you waiting for? Sign up today. $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. Start the new year off on the right foot. Get your ass in the gym and start getting in shape. Your fitness is essential. It's the home of the judgment-free zone. And, of course, you can sign up by going to any local Planet Fitness or by visiting them at planetfitness.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Let me ask you, with the holiday season over, but New Year's Eve still on the rise, Swiss Insurance wants to remind you to insure those gifts of jewelry or collectibles, because in the last 2 weeks alone, Swiss has saved its clients an average of 26% on their insurance premiums while still increasing coverage. It's a lot of money to free up for the new year. Happy New Year's from Swiss Insurance, and don't forget, go blue.
And we're back. Mailbag time. Let's get to your questions. Do you consider Chris Ilitch a competent owner? Personally, I think he's a pretentious asshole. Well, Will, I am going to plead the fifth on that one.
I like this question.
What is it?
And I saw it first yesterday. Honolulu Blues on their Twitter, they tweeted this out. And basically the question, I can't find the comment. Oh, Patty Grimes asked, Mailbag, if only one team could win this weekend. It was different. I'm going to ask you a little different question because this one made it a little harder. Lions, they win out and they win a playoff game. Or Michigan win and they get to the national championship. What would you rather have? And I'll
that is hard.
Because I would make the argument Michigan. Because
you can't.
To win a natty.
No, you didn't say to win. You said to get there.
Okay, how about this? They win the natty.
Oh, of course.
So they win the natty or you get a playoff win.
Oh, 100% win the natty.
We agree. Because I feel like big picture for the Lions, a playoff win is as great as it is. You ask
I think it's coming. I think the playoff win is coming. I think the division win is coming. I'm very optimistic about the talent they're building.
Right.
They got to improve as coaches. They have to improve overall as a team. They got to get better in certain areas. But for Michigan, the window is the next 2-3 years. Nah, I'm taking the natty over.
And it's funny because we cover the Lions.
I prefer to watch the Lions have success.
You ask any other state whether they'd rather have their significant college team win a natty or their team win a playoff game. They're like, well, I'd pick the natty because we can win a playoff game every other year typically. Lions, we're so starving that we actually have to think about it. Like, no, the big picture should be making a Super Bowl. looking at Michigan, it's no question. You got to win the Natty. That's bigger to me. What question? Mailbag Jesse. I want to actually go to Jesse's first question. I know he just asked one. Who does better in the Big Ten, Luke Fickell or Matt Rule? I'm going to say Rule. Second question, does Hunter Dickinson play in the G League or
Hunter
for the Flying
Dickinson
Tigers
is not
next
an
year?
NBA player.
Yeah, against Central last night, they got all rebounded, and you had Hunter Dickinson in there. Anyway, who does better, though, Luke Fickell or Matt Rule? I'm going to go with Matt Rule.
Go Fickell.
Okay.
Proved it at Cincinnati. Matt Rule built something nice at Baylor, but what Fickell did at Cincinnati, I think, was more impressive. Give me Fickell. I've had a thought, Adam. Do you think Peyton Manning is into some voodoo? Colts and Broncos have been horrible at quarterback after he left. No, the Colts had Andrew Luck. I mean, it's really since Andrew Luck left that the Colts have sucked, but I get what you're saying.
Fago Rain, Adam and Jeff, do you personally think the Lions get in?
No.
I'm going to be honest.
I think they fall short.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I agree. Even if they went out, I just don't think you need what, Washington or the
I think
Giants.
Washington are going to lose, and I think Seattle are going to lose. That's the problem. I think it's there for the taking. The problem is, I do think they lose one of these last two games.
I think
I just do.
I think it's the Packers, which we'll get to it.
Have you guys been monitoring the Tigers free agency? Yeah, nothing's been happening.
Yeah, I have. I've been monitoring it all right. Noah M. Mailbag. Could Killian Hayes beat the guy to put Grayson Allen in his place? It's a good question, Noah. With that forearm, man. A lot of people have come close to putting Grayson Allen in his place. I think it's coming for him. He's been pissing off a lot of people. You piss off DeMar DeRozan, what kind of human are you? I mean, DeMar DeRozan's the most chill dude, one of the most chillest dudes in the NBA, and if you piss him off, you got some issues there. Honest Abe, when does Ryan Terrell get called up to the Pistons? I really want to see Ryan Terrell. I just want to see him out there with his yarmulke, out there balling. I think that would be amazing. Mailbag, final score of the Michigan game. We went through it, Scott. I had 34-21, and Adam, you had by a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go.
Crew's got a game at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
What'd you say?
Crew's got a game at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
They do.
So early
They do.
breakfast game.
Mailbag, what free agents are you targeting this offseason? Specific free agents we'll get into at a later date, but in terms of positions, clearly corner. You probably need another linebacker. Maybe you can get a marquee linebacker depending on who you get, but I don't think they're going to land a splash, but I would say corner. I think that's number one for me, at least, personally. Jesse Adams asks, Mailbag, would you rather go to jail for 1 year straight or 3 years, but only on the weekends? Adam, you can answer this one. Or Fish, you can answer this.
Yeah, he didn't hear.
Would you rather go to jail for 1 year straight or 3 years, but only on the weekends? So you got all week. You could chill. You could watch your sports, but then you got to go to the jail on the weekends. But it's 3 years compared to 1 year straight in jail.
Well, I don't know what's 1 year, I guess.
Okay, so you just want to get it. You want to get it done.
Sure.
All right,
yeah.
No, I get it. I respect it.
How about 1 year?
What is going to be the biggest? I'll go to Zach's question. He asked it first. What would hurt more? Lions lose to the Bears and beat the Packers but miss the playoffs, or beat Bears, lose to Packers, and miss playoffs?
They both suck, to be honest.
Or lose
with
to
you.
Bears, beat the Packers.
I'd rather play the game at Lambeau with knowing my future.
Yes, I would say you beat the Bears, lose to the Packers, miss the playoffs. I think that would probably be my either one stinks, but if we're talking what you'd rather prefer.
What else we got? All them Spartans fans this year have gone dark. Yeah, I mean they
it's
suck
hard.
this year. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. Who's the face of Michigan professional sports?
Oh.
The face of Michigan professional sports?
The entire state.
Yeah, the
Who
entire
would be
state.
the face? It's not Larkin.
Who will be the because right now it's tough.
Yeah, who is right now?
It's tough because there are a lot
Right
of young
before the
guys
New
that you
Year's.
like, but the face meaning who's that marquee player right now?
The best player in the state right now is. I don't think they have one right now.
Yeah, I'll say a lot of young
guys. You can
guys.
say Hutch, you can say Cade, you can say Ivy, you can say a lot of these guys,
Mo.
but they're all young.
Yeah, right.
And none of them are superstars yet. The closest one maybe is Mo Sider.
Yeah.
Dylan Larkin.
Miggy, I guess he's still playing.
No, come on.
In terms of legacy, but no, you're right.
Not
There are a lot of
Miggy.
young players, so it's hard. If we're talking front office, Steve Yzerman, no question. Can we get a segment of Fish reciting a poem written by him?
It's up to you, Fish.
You can make it a dirty poem. You can do whatever you want.
What
to
is that
Fish.
supposed to mean? A poem
Means we
recited
wanna
by
hear your
me?
deep dark thoughts, buddy.
I don't know if I have.
We want to hear your intimate moments that you have with yourself or the 7 women that you're currently dating.
Is it 7? Okay.
It is 7.
I kind of thought it was 10, but oh well.
No, you dumped 3 of them last week, remember?
No, I do not. I think I got drugged during Christmas. That wouldn't surprise me.
God.
Am I doing a poem? What am I doing here?
Yeah, do a poem.
Well, I don't know if I have one.
Well, think of one on the spot.
So, I'll read this question, Fish. I'll save you a little bit. Nick asks, what is going to be the biggest sports surprise in 2023? Lions win a playoff game. How about that? I think that's a big surprise, and I do think it's possible next season. So there you go. I think that would be the biggest surprise. Imagine
that'd be in 24 technically.
Okay, how about this? 2023, they make the playoffs.
Yeah, the 2023-24 season.
You win a playoff game.
I hate you, Adam.
Oh, God. Who do you hate more, the Bears or the Packers?
Packers.
Yeah, probably
Packers. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I respect the hell out of him. Man. I just... Aaron Rodgers, I have a distaste for him and his comments towards the Lions. So I would probably say the Packers. And they own you.
They do.
So it's got to be the Packers.
Well, look. Fish, what are your plans for the weekend?
Well, I'm going to watch the Motor City Cruise hopefully win tomorrow. And then, I don't know, while I'm watching American football, I'll watch the Michigan game, I'll watch Ohio State, OH. They'll play Georgia and probably lose. And then, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'll go to bed at 3 a.m. I might have a nap tomorrow. There's some games on, I'll watch that. And then I'm watching the Lions on New Year's. How do you not? I watch them win against the Bears. I watch other football. And then Monday, there's more soccer, by the way. I'm excited. We got a game in the morning on Monday. So that should be fun.
Just curious, if Michigan State was playing
TCU
thanks
for cutting me off. Appreciate it.
Shut the hell up, Fish. Jesse asks, if Michigan State was playing TCU in the playoffs, would you have the same energy and hype? Jeff, I know you would. Adam, would you be blowing Mel as hard as you're blowing Jimmy? All right, look. Relax, Jesse. All right? Number one, Jim Harbaugh has earned all the credit, adulation, you name it. He's deserved and earned it. Let Mel Tucker win a Big Ten first. How about he wins his division first? Let's start there, okay? I like Mel. I do. But he's got a lot to prove, just like Harbaugh, early days, had a lot to prove. And it took Harbaugh time. And if it takes Mel time, that's no problem. But he's got to deliver before you get this kind of talk. So yes, if Michigan State were in the college football playoff, that likely means they would have won the Big Ten, and he would be getting all the credit in the world for it. Absolutely.
I love this one, Jesse.
What's up?
Mailbag. I'm curious if MSU was playing TCU in the playoffs.
I just answered this.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
Where the fuck were you?
Hey, you've done this before too. Don't even.
What the fuck?
He has. You have done this before.
You have done this to me before.
Yeah, several times.
All right. Is Neil going to backpedal on the TCU talk when Michigan beats them?
Oh,
what's the backpedaling?
Yeah, I don't know. Neil's been like...
I'm not up to speed with what Neil thinks of TCU, so I apologize.
Wow, you should be watching Big DeAndre.
I think you should be shutting the fuck up. That's it for today's show. Appreciate all of you joining us as always.
Go
Fish, you go fuck yourself.
I will not.
You all have a happy new year. We'll see you next year.
Yes.
Jeff and I will see you tomorrow on the Michigan pregame show. We'll see you Sunday on the Detroit Lions pregame show. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Michigan postgame show. Mm-hmm. So we got a lot of action coming up over the weekend. You have a blessed day, a blessed Friday, a blessed New Year. Please be safe. Don't be a dickhead.
Yep, thank you.
All right, be responsible. We want to see you in the chat on Monday.
Yeah, be
So
smart.
how about you relax? All right, Fish, don't spike anybody's drink. You know, you and that weird stuff you do, you know, whatever. Anyways, Westfall,
What
Happy
about
New Year,
you?
buddy. I hope your New Year's resolution is to show up on time. Fish, I hope your New Year's resolution is to shut the hell up. We're out of here.
I don't know if that'll
Goodbye.
happen.
Happy New Year. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Happy New Year's. Go watch all the sports weekend. How do you not? Happy New Year's.